In Where Good Ideas Come From, The Natural History of Innovation, Stephen Johnson discusses one topic of particular importance to creating good ideas: connecting with other individuals and collaborating ideas to reach breakthroughs that would otherwise not be possible. He states that connections are the key to wisdom. Johnson explains that a liquid network is the best environment for new ideas and innovations. The liquid network has two essential requirements. The first element is size. The network must be densely populated. The more populated the network, the more connections can be made. The second is plasticity, meaning the network is capable of reconfiguration. If it is set in stone, so to speak, or incapable of change, then new developments cannot be made. Let's take the example that Johnson uses of the state of matter in its three different forms. More specifically, let's look at H2O. The solid form, ice, is set and greatly structured. Molecules are slow-moving and nearly stagnant. The gas form, vapor, is chaotic and unmanageable. Molecules are moving extremely fast and are difficult to contain. The liquid form, however, is a balance between the other two. Water is controlled yet malleable. Molecules are moving at a moderate pace, yet still able to be manipulated. As Johnson states, a liquid network creates a more promising environment for the system to explore the adjacent possible. New configurations can emerge through random connections formed between molecules, but the system isn't so wildly unstable that it instantly destroys new creations. Now we can compare this to the networking and collaboration of ideas. An ice network is set with no room for adaptations. Due to this inflexibility, new connections cannot be made, and therefore new ideas will not emerge. A gas network is uncontrollably frenzied. Ideas are all over the place, and because of this, no subject is addressed long enough to be developed into something useful. The liquid network allows for reconfiguration, which enables innovation and the development of new ideas, but is stable enough for those connections to become lasting. This brings us to Johnson's discussion of Kevin Dunbar's study of scientists working in a lab. Kevin Dunbar wanted to research more about scientific breakthroughs and how they were developed. Instead of asking questions, he observed scientists on a daily basis and recorded his findings. He discovered that most of the important breakthroughs occurred not in the lab itself, but at the conference table, where several scientists were able to discuss ideas and expand upon each other's research and theories. In essence, connecting and building a liquid network. Johnson reiterates this, stating, "When you work alone in an office, peering into a microscope, your ideas can get trapped in place, stuck in your own initial biases. The social flow of the group conversation turns that private, solid state into a liquid network." Johnson similarly discusses the role of the coffee house in the Age of Enlightenment in the 18th century England. In his TED Talk video, he examines how the coffee house was the first development of that liquid network, which facilitated a so-called meeting of the minds. People were interacting with others from all different types of backgrounds and sharing thoughts and ideas. This allowed for those necessary connections, the aforementioned key to wisdom, and innovation thrived. The intellectual interchange that occurred in coffee houses during the Age of Enlightenment demonstrates the idea that a liquid network, both densely populated and plastic, provides the ideal environment for innovation. In contrast, any factor that discourages the exchange of ideas will obstruct the emergence of new ideas. This is addressed in Johnson's TED Talk in the concept of connecting versus protecting. Johnson states that we must not be so protective of our intellectual property, because history has proven that collaboration and shared ideas have led to most great and groundbreaking discoveries. The age-old saying that 2 heads are better than 1 rings true in that the exchange of ideas allows for different viewpoints to come together and reach an otherwise unrealized perspective. So, although competition may seem to be an incentive for people to work harder, it may be more of a hindrance because it discourages shared ideas, which are the essence of breakthroughs. The real facilitator for new innovations is the networking and connecting of ideas. In a work setting, if 2 teams are competing to solve the same problem, they will be inclined to keep their discoveries hidden, as they both want to be the first to come up with a solution. Any shared information might give the competition a leg up and therefore put the other team at a disadvantage. Ideas become locked away because of the competitive spirit. Alternatively, if teams are encouraged to share ideas and work towards solving different problems, all the while building off of each other's research and discoveries, more connections can be made. This will lead to more innovation, as we saw at the conference table, in the science lab, or the coffee house during the Age of Enlightenment. The argument that Johnson makes for connecting versus protecting is very clear. Sharing ideas cultivates innovation, while denying others information prevents it.